seconds. We are live. All right, take it away.
Are we? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
All right, take it away.
My name is Akin. All right. It looks like I don't know whether I can just is everyone here? Am I good? I don't know whether
Yeah.
just am I good?
Yes, you are.
You are.
You're good to go.
Am I clear with everybody? Toy, am I clear? Dad, are we
Yes,
clear?
please. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You are.
Clearly.
Okay, I guess the mistake I made was that I opened the YouTube page where we're broadcasting, so I was hearing my voice delayed, and I was hearing it, so it confused me. It confused me, kind of. So I've closed the YouTube page now. Yeah, on the StreamYard. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Akin Alabi, and today we are celebrating our dad, our mentor, Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Ojeagbase, the publisher of Success Digest and Complete Football, Complete Sports, Sports of NI, the entire Complete Communications family. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, where you are. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning and good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Now, as you guys can see, we've got, I'm not here alone, and Ronald Zimora is here. He's the one that actually set everything up. I was just the coordinator. Ronald, welcome. Ronald can't hear us. Start your microphone. Samson Olatunde, can you hear us? Welcome.
Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. So Oyeleke is here as well. So is it morning where you are or afternoon?
Morning actually.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're in the same
Thanks for the opportunity.
zone with him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Ronald, I don't know if you're fine now.
Yes, I'm fine.
No, because we said Ronald, hi, you did not say anything the other time, so I was wondering whether your mind is not here.
Oh, okay. I think I was having some interference here.
Okay, all right. So why are we doing this? We're doing this for many reasons. Basically, first of all, we're celebrating the 25-year anniversary of Success Attitude Development Center, the brainchild, the NGO of our mentor. And we're also celebrating him as a man, as our father. And of course, we wanted to do this earlier than this on his 70th birthday, but for some logistics, we couldn't bring anybody together. So also this is an extension of his celebration. And what better way to celebrate him than bringing him to all of you to share his wealth of experience, his wealth of knowledge with everybody. Even those of us that are his mentees, we are still going to learn today. So, and I'm sure that the rest of you out there that have not been privileged to come in contact with him will learn a lot today as well. This is a man who has interactions with him and coming across the work is what actually laid the foundation for my business success, entrepreneurial success, and basically everything that I've been able to achieve. I came across him first of all as the publisher of Complete Football, because I'm an ardent football fan, and I used to read a lot of Complete Sports then, Complete Football then, magazine format, and I was always in awe of how it was presented, from the headlines to the articles written and so on. I was always in awe, and I was like, okay, this is special. So when I found out that I started teaching business secrets with his magazine, Success Digest magazine, then before it became a newspaper format, it was just a no-brainer for me. I just had to pick the magazine up, and I just had to read the magazines, magazine, put things read there in practice. And of course, when he advertised some seminars, I just had to attend those seminars. So I leave Ibadan and come to Lagos for the seminars. And that's another story we've told before and we'll continue to tell later on, because today is not about me, today is about him. So I'm just using this as a kind of to water the ground a bit to understanding what is going on here. So since then, obviously, I've developed myself in the process. I've met other people that have been mentors as well. But this is the man that actually gave me the foundation, a springboard to entrepreneurial success. And I'm sure that the three other guys on the panel with me today will echo the same thing. So let me just give you 1 minute or 2 minutes, guys, to tell us about your contact with Success Digest before we go fully into our daddy. So let's start with Ronald.
All right, guys. So my encounter with Success Digest, which was what led me to meeting our daddy, was me going back to school. I was in a luxurious bus, and this guy was sitting down there, and he had this magazine in his hand, and he was sleeping. I actually had to wake him up and say, "Please, can I read the magazine you have in your hand?" And when he gave it to me, the title was what intrigued me. It was called Success Digest. And I started reading it and I was blown away right from that edition. And when I got back to school in Umahia, I went around Umahia. I didn't even go back to school straight. I went around the entire town looking for the magazine. And I eventually found 2 more copies. And basically that led me on a journey down to, because this happened in 2003, down to reading the magazine, and then up to 2008 when I attended a seminar, my very first ever paid seminar actually, at Success Attitude Development Center, and which of course was what gave me the opportunity to meeting our dad here. And it's been wonderful knowing him all of these years. He's just like Honorable said, he's been the springboard to everything that I've been able to do today, and I am eternally grateful for that opportunity. So, Samson.
Okay. A big thank you for this opportunity, for having Otumba Akinlabi and Ronald putting things together for our dear daddy. Daddy, congratulations on the 25th year of Success Attitude Development Center, which has been a springboard to my advancement. I came across the first copy of Success Digest through my brother, and that was 2006, 2007. And then I started buying it, reading and understanding how I can take advantage of a lot of opportunities. Then I came about an advert called Money in the Bank Workshop. That was my first paid seminar with Success Digest. It was tagged Money in the Bank Workshop. I think it's in 2008, which I came for because the first day is like having the facilitators to come and tell you opportunities you will get if you join their class and all of that. And I remember that I was in school then, so I had to travel down from Ogun State, from Olabisi University. And I came down the first day, and after the whole explanation, I made up my mind that I was going to be in Daddy's class, because I said to myself, if this is the man organizing this event, then he has more secret than any other facilitators. I remember I couldn't raise the money the first day. The second day, it was 25,000 naira. And the third day, I got 3 of my friends had to borrow me 25,000 naira. One gave me part of school fees, part of house rent, and the other one part of his salary. And I remember I came the third day because I had lost 2 days already. And I was really disturbing him in the class, asking so many questions. And then he said to me, young guy, calm down. You will get everything you need to get from this class. And I can assure you that if you utilize or practice what I've shared, you'll make money. I remember they did say to us that they expect that within the space of 1 year, we should come back as a millionaire. And for me, either you call it a luck, I was fortunate. The reality was that I borrowed that money, maybe because of the curiosity I needed to pay back. I went back. I remember the last bus of that day at the park was the bus I followed back to school because they only gave us a CD containing private label rights. And I was wondering how will I pay people back 25,000 naira because the way the advert was painted, I thought I was going to be going back with bags of money and all of that. And then with freight getting back in the middle of the night, I opened my laptop, looked at daddy's notes, called the printer in the middle of the night. The next morning, had copies of flyers printed out, and then we started distributing, talking about people taking advantage of the private labor rights. I didn't create the product. I got the product. I only practiced what he said to say by him saying to us that we should look for any platform where you have crowd, where you can talk about this opportunity. And then that was what I did with flyers. I remembered I had to go to different bus terminal with my friends and we were giving flyers. And in 1 week, I made 100,000 naira. And I remember they said to us,
that's enough. That's enough. Oh, that's enough. Don't give us
okay,
your biography. Let's move to Toye.
Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon again. And I'm grateful. Once again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here to be on Baba's panel, Dr. Ojeagbase. So I just want to say that my meeting with him was preceded by, of course, the Success Digest, the award-winning wealth millionaire maker Success Digest magazine, and that was over 20 years ago. And we just had it in my house. My dad used to buy all of the, every single one, and he wanted me to read. But I always said to him, nobody teaches other people how they make money if they have the secret that I'm very sure nobody will. And we had that running for a while until when he tricked me to attend doctor's workshop in 2002, during one of these long ASU strikes. So I was curious about business at that time too. I didn't, didn't know what to do. So, but his trick worked. I attended with the mindset that I'm finally going to shame this man today. That just one day, and I'll tell him. But I mean, it was just like doctor knew what I was coming to do, because from that first day, I got hooked for life. And I'm saying that what I learned there that week, and ever since that time, being mentored by him, and then business lessons, life lessons, all those things are the things that have helped me to grow up to this point, setting up businesses and all of that. So basically, that's how I met Baba. And then, in the course of this program, if Otumba will ask me to talk again, I probably may be able to give more details. Okay. But I just want to say before I drop this, that some of the most important things I've learned from him are that one can be successful. Anyone can be. Then 2, you can do business with integrity. With integrity. If someone is not happy with what you are doing for them, you don't have to hold on to their money. I learned that. And then that in doing business, you don't have to lose your humanity. You must keep that human face, because it's demonstrated that to me and then to others that I've seen over time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Ronald, whoever, you should close your YouTube page, please, or any other thing that's making noise, please, so that we can have a very clear broadcast. If I allow each one of us to start talking about how we met him, what we've done, and what we've done over the years, we'll just turn this one to another seminar, another training on its own, and we'll even be able to interview Yawa at all, because we can go on and on. Just as you mentioned, integrity now. Right? I remember that just a couple of weeks I walked away from a multi-million-dollar investment deal that I went to do a presentation, but I made a mistake with the figures that I presented. It was a bit overstated. And when I came back home to cross-check, I found out that I overstated these figures. And I didn't know I was going to go back to tell them that that was a mistake, because they made the figures they evaluated the business based on those figures that I presented. And I found out that the real figures were a bit lower. I had to work out. They've been telling me, I said, we need to, where I'm no longer interested. That, look, because I believe I said something, now I'm coming back to give you something wrong. That integrity, he has instilled it in us. So just as I said, if we keep talking about these things, we will not live here at all. So now, let's now come to our daddy, our mentor. Now, there are many questions we'll love to ask you, but we've tried to condense them into a few questions so that we won't be here all day. So the first thing I want to do, Dad, is for you to give us a bit of background about your journey in entrepreneurship. Summary, because we know and we used to read those days how you were a sports reporter, then you worked at Guardian, then you resigned in 1984 to start Sports Souvenir, then from there, Complete Football, the challenges there, on and on. So a brief summary of your life in business. Can you share with us in the next 5 minutes or so that?
First of all, I really appreciate you guys. I think that's the language to use now because I really appreciate you guys for putting this together.
So.
What you have done is to lit a light at the top of the hill for people to see, because like all of you have said, events like this, publication like Success Digest, they are light that men see that lead them to their own pot of gold. That's what I describe it. So I appreciate it very much, and I thank God for many people watching this, because this is going to lead them also to their God-prepared destiny for them. Very briefly, I think the source of what has led me to do all the things that I've ever done is the fact that I was born thinking about where do I go from here and how do I get there. Very quickly, when that thought is on, I see, I see the challenges around me, and I wonder, how could I cross this? Because when you are born in a family where money is not always readily available, you have to be thinking, how do I get from here to there? So I started, you had this story, you've read it before. I started, didn't go to secondary school, didn't go to university, and I found myself in the Nigerian army at 18, and shortly before I was 21 years old, I've lost both my parents. So I was an orphan in the Nigerian army, and the Nigerian army became my parents because I grew there. So while I was in the army, I was already thinking. I wasn't seeing the Nigerian army as a career that I'm going to spend my lifetime in. So I was thinking of what to do after I left the army. And then, of course, I got into betting on pools seriously. And that, because I didn't make a success of it, that led me to Jesus Christ in 1974, April. I still remember the month. And was how I started reading literatures by successful people. I read this one, Seven Laws of Success, by the founder of Worldwide Church of God. And that pamphlet led me to other things, exam success, studying at home, and then going into to register for the School of Journalism by correspondence. And before I finished, I started contributing, sports article for Nigerian Herald, New Nigerian, then Daily Times. That was just the part all the way up. Then I got to the Guardian in 1983. My first day in the Guardian, I asked myself one question. The question was, when I retire from the Guardian, where will I go? There is a reason I asked that question. I was the sports editor. I was not, and that is the highest you can go as a sports writer. I didn't love the news writing aspect of journalism. So I pictured myself being given a send-off if I was lucky to get one, and you have a big clock to hang in your house to show that you worked somewhere before. And I started to say, this is 32. That future is not for me. And there's this popular saying that once you are 40, if you are a fool at 40, you'll be a fool forever. I don't know if that is true or not, but it scared me to, in 8 years' time, I will be 40. So I will spend the rest of my life being a fool? No. That was 1983. Fortunately, I have to stress this, fortunately, I went in December 1983, my wife and I were visiting my uncle, the late Archbishop George Amu. I went in to visit him that day with my wife, and I saw a set of books. And let me just pause and make a very important point. All of you watching this now and in future, please understand that the way to that place you want to reach, that desire you are nursing, if it is positive, the way to get there is to search in books. All these young men you are watching with me, they are nuts for reading books. Every secret you are looking for out there, somebody somewhere has written about it. You only need to search for it. So in December 1983, we were visiting Archbishop Amu, and then my eyes just went to two books, and they were lying side by side, Think and Grow Rich and success through a positive mental attitude. Think and grow rich. Yeah, that's what I need. I need to think and grow rich. So I got the two books and I went to my uncle. I said, please, can I have this? And he said, yes, go with it. After I read that book in a week, my entire world was turned around because I saw how people from different, background were able to get hold of themselves, get hold of an idea, and became somebody as a result. And I said, oh, this is what I'm going to do. The next thing, I gave the book to my wife. She read it, and that was in December. By January, I was all over Lagos contacting everyone I knew I can talk to about an idea that came from my reading Think and Grow Rich. The idea came to me that I could turn my knowledge of sports writing, because sports writing was a great thing for me. I mean, I write. I mean, Akin Alabi already said it, so don't let me say that again. But how to turn writing sports into money. Money was the thing in my head, because I hear a lot of people argue about you like too much, when you look for money or struggle for money, you like too much money. It's bukum. I mean, they're just talking rubbish, because nobody, and I mean nobody, could really exist without having money. The Bible itself says money, solves many problems. Now, when I saw that that is the way for me to go, I told my wife about it, and she agreed with me, and that was how I went through Lagos. I mean, this will be familiar. I mean, a lot of you will be familiar with this. Samson just told us a little bit of it. He has an idea that he wants to pursue, no money to start it, to start getting money from friends and so on and so forth. That's the way everybody starts. So I went to everybody I knew. As a sports writer, I knew quite a few people, and nobody was in a position to help me. So I back off. I concentrated on my job as the sports editor of The Guardian. And but the idea was at the back of my head. So in October 1984, there was a little, is it industrial arrest or what do you call it? I mean, and then we were going to have a pay cut just to get the company to tide over that situation. I think it was 25%. And I simply told myself that, wait, my full salary wasn't carrying me for the whole month. To get 25% out of it, what's going to happen to me? And then I weighed that with going solo. And I came to the conclusion that, well, if you are working 100% wasn't enough. Now 25% out of it will even make your situation very worse. So how will, compared with not having any pay but struggling to get to the source of money flowing to your own life, I said, okay, I will quit the paid job, no money in the bank, zero. But I will quit the paid job and go and face the struggle of starting from ground zero. I took that decision on my way home from my guardian office that day, and when I got home, this is the miracle as far as I'm concerned. I got home, I told my wife that we are going to start business. Normally, your wife will ask you, where is the money? Where is the business? My wife didn't ask me any question like that. She said, let's go. In my mind, I said, let's go. Okay. If she said, let's go, who am I to now say we are not going? So we just jump into it. Within a week, part of the things I've read in Think and Grow Rich, I've seen how resourceful the people who started from that level were. I had 4 cameras that I brought from the Olympic Games. So I gave my sister, Mrs. Lydia Ojeagbase. She went to Oshodi Market, sold the camera, came back with 4,000. Wow. That was the startup capital for me, because I've seen people who sold the things they have to raise money to do what they want. So I did the same thing. But please don't get lost in the story, because there is a key thing. There was an idea before looking for money, because that's the thing I see with a lot of my young friends in the country who God has given the destiny to turn Nigeria around by the power of the knowledge that we acquire. But they get stuck by saying, I don't have money. Money is not the key thing. Idea is the first thing. That's why I wrote a book called Ideas Are Money, just to give you an idea how to get there from where you are. So I have that idea that, okay, I can look around me. If you have a television, you are watching CNN or Magic or whatever, and you have an idea that will make you millions, billions. Sell that damn thing off, stop watching it, and sell the thing, but pursue your idea. You are never going to get there without an idea. Don't beat about the bush. So when I had the 4,000, that was enough for me. Okay, what can I do with it? Then, of course, I went to the man who later became the chairman of Complete Communications Limited, Chief O.O. Olukomi, now late, and told him I wanted to start sports publishing. And I needed a loan of 2,500. Chief Olukomi didn't ask me any question. Today, I know why. He just pulled out his drawer, wrote 2,500 on the check, and handed it over to me with my wife in attendance. And he said one thing, he said, good luck. Looking back today, I know the weight in those two words, good luck, because I needed the things I saw, building that business from the scratch, which all you guys would have experienced. I really needed luck. So, and that was it. People ask themselves, how can you don't have a printing press? You don't have money to take care of payroll. How are you going to do it? For some, it was crazy. Me, looking back, it was even really crazy. But you know what? When you are there and you have this fire burning in your stomach, you just need to go for it, whatever it costs. If you stand on the edge and you are trying to figure out how it is, and you think about all those things that will come to your head, you will never take off. I had been in Ghana and I saw the type of newspaper, sports paper they were publishing there. Some were just four pages, all kinds of papers. Some, I said, okay. In Nigeria, we have not seen anything like that before. Nobody was calling a 4-page paper a sports paper or whatever. So I said, okay, I will start with 4 pages. That's why Sports Souvenir came out as a 4-page paper. And that was it. Carried the whole thing. My staff were my wife, my sister, every family member, they joined, and everybody was selling Sports Souvenir. That was the beginning of it all. I was a vendor at the National Stadium. People going in. I mean, that's the same stadium where I used to be very well known, one of the sports writers known in the country. But I went to the National Stadium and I started hawking my paper. So that's the beginning. So from Sports Souvenir to Complete Football to Complete Sports to all the rest, that was the foundation. Now, after 10 years publishing Complete Football, I began to have an idea. There are so many people in my country who could do the things God has helped us to do in CCL. And the story about no capital, I would have started a business, no capital, blah, 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 was all you could hear. So I started to think that I needed to start sharing the way God helps us to build CCL with other young people in our country. And that was how the idea to start publishing Success Digest came about, and SADC, the foundation, that was it. And I am fulfilled today, very fulfilled, very happy, giving all the glory to God Almighty that SADC was founded in a country like my own country, where you see a lot of opportunity. I know somebody out there will be saying, what opportunity? But I see it. Every day I see it. The opportunities are still there. And the young guys in front of who put this together will agree with me that those opportunities are everywhere. How do we convince our Nigerian youths to see, to have this vision and never, keep talking about what government didn't do? Because that is one language I never learned how to speak. Let the government do its part. If government doesn't pay you, find a way to pay yourself. I know the responsibilities of government, but if they won't pay you, are you going to be stranded all through your life because you say government is not doing this for you? No. Please, young people around Nigeria, please, you have people, at least 4 of them are here with me, that will lead you, show you the way to do it. If we can have 100 people, just 100, doing the kind of thing God has helped the young people I'm speaking with here directly, not those of you watching, Nigeria will be transformed. And I think that is one of the biggest value of this program that was put together. I guess as we go on, there will be other things that I'll be saying that will throw more light into the heart of this matter that brought us together. Thank you. Otumba, over to you.
Oloye, are you there?
Oloye is there, but
can you hear us?
Okay. Okay, in order to, let me see, there are other things that is Oloye back now?
Am I here?
Yes, you are.
I thought I was on actually. I thought I was on. Yeah. Now, thanks, sir, for that long but very informative and inspiring story. I believe a lot of people must have picked one or two things. I actually picked up a note when you were talking at the time. I have a 3-in-1 question now, sir. The first one actually came up when you were talking. I didn't plan it before. because you talked about when you had the idea and you had to sell what you have. You had that idea. You kept insisting that before you sell what you have, don't just do it. You did it because you had that solid idea. Now, I want to put it in another way, not idea. I like to say that you already had a target market that you were about to explore. Like you were the editor of Complete Sports of Guardian, sports editor of Guardian. Why were you so sure that people were going to buy Sports Souvenir, a full sports publication? You pioneered it. No one had ever had that in Nigeria. We didn't have anything like that in Nigeria. So, what made you confident that people who were buying newspapers and reading about the military, about politics, why were you so sure that they were going to buy a sports publication? That's the first part of the question. Then the second question is, when it became difficult, I'm sure you experienced some difficulties along the way. What kept you going? What kept you going? Then, what did you have any particular major fright, a setback that almost put you out of business? And let me leave it like that. So the first one that you had, how were you so sure that a sports publication was going to sell? Then how did you keep on going at difficult times? And was there a time that you were about to pack up, like, no, this is done?
Well, very good question. That is what I got from Think and Grow Rich. All those three questions, they were all answered by Think and Grow Rich. So I was prepared before I jumped into the river, hoping that, it was like I would either swim and get across or sink. So that first question is a marketing question. It's a marketing question. And that is a very, very important question. Who is going to buy your product? And how are you sure that they will even buy it? So in my own case, as a sports editor, after I read Think and Grow Rich, I know that I had to test. So as I was working in the Guardian, there were so many opportunities for me to test ideas. I already know the story people want to read. I already know their passion for sports. And so the only thing missing was, would they buy as a stand-alone publication? Because as Atkins just said now, we didn't have anything like that before. So my mind, because I traveled a lot as a sports journalist, I have been to so many countries, and there was none that I visited that didn't have a stand-alone sports publication. So I asked myself, we love sports the way people in other countries that I visited love sports. If their love for sports could make them to support a stand-alone sports publication, I imagine that if anyone offered Nigerians such publication, they will go for it. So that answer the first question. How was I sure that they would buy it? But I didn't stop there. I started to do so many things with the first publication. I mean, with the publication I was working with you on the Guardian newspaper, and trying those ideas. I mean, the sports pages of the Guardian was, was going gaga. I mean, that I even used that headline in one of the publications. And I saw at one point my boss, Ladebonola, at one point said, "You and these your people, they worry me so much. The space you are giving to sports is too small." Well, whatever space you give us, we will cover it. But if you give us 30 pages in the Guardian, we will even drive more, to use the correct language, more traffic, to the Guardian. So I knew before I jumped into it, one, that Nigerians will buy sports paper if they were offered. Two, they will buy quality sports news because I have evidence of that from working on the sports pages of the Guardian. And so the rest is easy. What's the second question again, Akin?
Good, good. So I actually want to establish. Well, first of all, I don't know where this background noise is coming from. I don't know it's from Toy, Samson, Ronald. I don't know where we close our other pages. That's done. Fine. I want to establish this. The reason why I'm going on about this is that in my marketing life and my personal business and my teachings, I always stress this idea of finding a market first, which Gary Halbert, that we all know, used to call a starving crowd. Right? We'll say, where is the market? Who is going to buy? What sign did you see? Are they ready to buy? So from what you said now, as an editor, you've seen the passion, people buying Guardian and reading the sports pages. Some people will buy the newspapers, and the first thing they will do is they will go to the back page and they want to see the stories from the back. After reading the sports stories, then they can start reading the other parts of the paper. So you had seen that there was a huge opportunity here before you went into it. So that's very crucial. People out there watching this should see that it's important to establish a market, a vibrant market, a starving crowd out there before they launch their product. Then you'll be confident of selling your personal property to fund the business, not just a fancy idea you thought about offhand, and you now go and sell your property to go and finance. Now, the next question, sir, was that how did you keep going in difficult times? And was there a particular story that you're like, this is it, we're done?
There were so many of such stories, but one particular one that I always love to talk about was that after spending 7 years in that university, you all know the name now,
University of Hard Knocks.
After 7 years doing everything we knew to do, the business was going nowhere. In fact, we got to the point when the bank were owing, sent a receiver manager and said, okay, wind us up, bankruptcy. The man came, met me in the office, and said, okay, was sent by XYZ Bank. Where is the paper of this house? Oh, I said, this house, it is with the owner. And Haji R.A. Adejumo. And I'm sure if you go to him, I am not very sure that he will hand over the paper of this house to you. So it's okay. What about the printing press? Oh, that one, that belonged to Academic Press. And I'm not sure they will even open the gate for you, not to talk of giving you access to the machines. So he now asked me, well, what are the assets? Because in his head is looking at the fact that we have with the bank. And so what's there to be sold? So he said, so where is the asset? I said, the only asset we have are the chairs and tables you can see, and of course, me. But if you take me to Aswani Market, I'm not going to be worth a tenth of what we're owing. So the man looked at me, and that was the last day he came to our office. So in his head, he would be wondering, how could a bank give so much money to no collateral, nothing? Anyway, I told him, I said, but if you leave us alone, we turn this around. So he left that day. As soon as he left, I got into my car and drove to Falomo Shopping Center. Entered a bookshop, and I was looking at the titles there. What was I looking for? I knew that we were in trouble and that somebody somewhere would have been in such trouble before, that God would have guided to put his experience in a book. Lo and behold, I saw a book titled, is it Turnaround Prescription? I forgot that now. But I picked it up, paid for it, got back into my car. The driver was driving, and I was reading at the back seat. Between Falomo and Okota, I'd read and picked something that brought us out of that jam. The author described a situation. He said, a ship, no matter how small water is entering it, that it is a question of time before that ship sinks, unless that hole is blocked. And that was it. So in my head, I was just thinking, where is that hole? Oh, it is Climax Magazine.
Sir, before you continue,
Okay.
I like that you went into that, because that was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Right? The story of Climax Magazine, you had done well as publisher of Sports Souvenir, then Complete Sports. Fine, you still had your challenges, but you were practically stable. Then Climax Magazine came into the picture. So why did you do Climax, sir? And so just continue with the story like that.
I started a series recently, which is Uncommon Success Secrets Tips. And the last one I shared actually dwell on this very question. From what I've said so far, and from what all of you will have experienced, you get to a point and the thought just come to you because you have struggled and struggled and struggled, and you are not seeing the money is not coming in after all your effort. So I started looking around me. At that time, this was 1998. After all our struggles, there was no breakthrough. So I started seeing the grasses around us being greener than our own, I mean, it's a familiar situation. There was a publication at that time. It is called Prime People, one of those soft sell publications. Everywhere you are in Nigeria at that time, Prime People, east, west, north, south. On a Friday, you will see Prime People in people's hand. So I said to myself, yes, I know that the lost sports elsewhere and they are following it, but I don't know why we are not, having that kind of breakthrough. So I started thinking about doing other publication, one that is actually selling. So I drifted into that place, in that direction, and put Mumini Alao, Dr. Mumini Alao, in charge of the complete football. Yes, and I started Climax magazine. Now, Climax magazine was very well known for its notoriety, and but it wasn't also making the money. In fact, it was Climax magazine that got us into trouble with the bank and all of that, with many libel cases in court. So, but the good thing that came out of this episode was that I discovered one thing that was missing in my business. Up till now, I thank God for Akin Alabi, who is championing that cause. Without the knowledge of marketing, that near or narrow miss with liquidation forced me to see, because it was that winding up that drove me into reading and learning about marketing for 7 solid years, back to back. If I read 10 books in a year, 7 of them minimum will be on marketing. So by the time I went out of that school of marketing, Of course, I never went to any formal school, but usually I do all my course in my house. But after it, I discovered that without marketing knowledge, a business will struggle and struggle and struggle. No business can do as well as they have potential to without marketing knowledge. I brought that message to SADC. And when I tried to stress it, what my people were telling me is, we know marketing is good, but teach us how to make soap first. Teach us how to make this first. And I would laugh and I would tell them, when you produce your soup and you produce whatever, you still have to sell it. Unfortunately, because you don't know, I will teach 10 of you to make soap, and 10 of you will go and produce soap. So all of you will have soap. How do you sell your soap without marketing knowledge? Like Akin Alabi told me in my office one day, he said, they don't get it. I said, oh, good. That is exactly what is happening. But the good thing today is that Akin has written one book on marketing, because I was here in Atlanta when he sent the book to me by DHL, and I just saw it. I said, thank God. This is the kind of thing that our people need. But I don't know if they have gotten it now, because you just have to know how to market your products. Otherwise, your capital is doomed. That's it.
So now, sir, let me come in there. So maybe there was a time that I had a slight disconnection. I don't know whether you said it then. So you noticed that there was a loophole, and Classic was taking all the money and everything. So you just woke up one day and decided to shut it down.
That's exactly what I did. It was a challenging thing for me, because the passion to publish Climax was there, but I wasn't ready for the trouble it was bringing. That's number one. Number two, I was able to address the issue of the greener grass. I understand today that the grass that is greener at the other end, somebody worked at it to make it green. And that if you work at your own, or your own grass, it will become green if you just keep at it. And that is why I wrote that book, Learn It, Do It, and Sell It. Those three steps, if you don't go through it, you will just end up struggle so much. You must know what you want to sell very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, good. Nice one. There are about 2 questions I have, but I know that the other guys still have a few questions. Before you came on, sir, we're talking. We said, okay, guys, what are the questions so that I can add it to these existing questions? Toye told me that, no, I have a dossier of questions. So I was like, Kilo Day, how long are we going to stay here that you have a dossier? sea of questions. So he actually had to send me some of his questions. I'm going to allow him to ask the questions as well. But I've already written some down here, so I'll continue. So number one, why did you set up ACE? I know you've answered this a bit one way or the other, but if you can just put it in like straight up, why did you set up SADC? Then secondly, I know that everything that you do it with mommy, your wife, Pastor Mrs. Esther. I know you do it with her. And why do you always do this? Why do you always carry her along? Why do you always do business with her? In fact, that's one of the questions that Toye is also, Eleke is also asking. Why do you always do it? Well, why do you always carry her along for everything? So why did you set up SADC? Why are you always doing it with mommy? And your relationship with God. We know you're a pastor. How do you combine your spirituality with your business ethics? And I know that the head of complete communication, who's been your business partner, staff who became your business partner, Dr. Mumina Lau, is a Muslim, right? How have you been able to balance your relationship with God, your Christianity, your religion with business and working with other people, non-Christians? So starting with SADC.
Why did I start SADC? I mentioned it earlier, as you said, and let me clarify it. I know, even as we speak, that there are so many Nigerians who could become what God wants them to be if they would just take their time and do what God has helped me and the four of you before me to do. I think our next crusade, to use it that way, is to tell our compatriots that you have to work at this thing. I know how many people, how many followership you all have in the country today. And what the mistake most of our young people make is that they look at who you are now. They don't try to find out the things you did before you get to where you are now. I can say this for all of you, but let me use Akin's case. Akin went into went into sports publishing, and after some time he came back to me and said, if he continue with this, where is the money going to come from? The kind of thing he did, and he couldn't push. No, it started with a publication like Success Digest.
Business opportunity, income, yeah.
And went all over. Even went to places I didn't go to, and he saw the type of response. And I just said to him, if you are looking for money, that's not the publication to go to, because my own reason for setting it up was not for money, was to achieve what God has used it for, raising people like you up. It was an investment for me. Now, he jumped out of it, went to sports. Yes, sports is making money. That's the same thing. You know, I've just talked about it. The grass is always greener. So
Classic.
it jumped into sports publishing, something world. What, you know?
World Soccer News.
Huh?
World Soccer News.
World Soccer News. This is not it. Interestingly, Aki went to UK and saw some a magic something, you know, but from there, he moved to the one that has created jobs for thousands of people in Nigeria. You can see all those steps. So anybody who wants to get to the top, go look for the stories of the people we are talking about. See what they did, so that can encourage you. When things are difficult, go back to that book. For me, it was Think and Grow Rich. There was somebody who was looking for gold, dug, and they didn't get anything, got tired, discouraged, carried this equipment, was going, was sold it off. That fellow was just 3 feet from gold. The person who bought the equipment from him went back to the same site, and 3 feet, he started seeing gold and made a lot of money. Whereas the person who he bought the equipment from had walked so far, but it was just 3 feet from gold. That answered the question, what gets me going? The 3 feet is stuck in my head. I could just leave this in now, and I'm so close to turning it around. So I stuck to it. So that's an important thing for us to understand.
So we mommy.
Now, I said something already. She's a chief believer in me. And if somebody believes in you, all you want to do is to carry them along. I have told you, I was coming from work. She knew I didn't have any money or whatever. And I said, we are going to go into business. And she said, let's go. So we moved on from there. And that's how we became business partners. And we have been partners in business till today.
Good. Good. Relationship with God, your relationship with others, you get what I mean? I said it earlier on.
Yeah, my relationship with God, I had my first encounter with Jesus Christ in April 1974. I was just 24 years old. And I went into it full time. When I say full time, not that I left my army job, no, but I really went into it. I started with an Aladura church, you see me with white gown on Sundays, walking barefoot foot to go to the church of God. That's the way we dress. And I kept reading and so on and so forth. But I went from church to church in Kaduna, where I was then in the army. And I would see things people are doing in the church which doesn't correlate with what I read in the Bible. So I said I will go to the other church. Maybe that's where they are doing, in quote, the right thing. And that was how I moved from church to church to church to church to church. out of the church totally. But in 1994 November, I came back to Christ because I have seen that no human church can be like the church that let me use the word ideal church. And I now know why. Because in a church, you have people who are just converted, and you have mature Christians. And all of us are in the same church. So if a mature Christian is doing something, it will be different from somebody who had just become a Christian. So that's 1994. I decided after all the journeys I've made everywhere in churches, I decided that, well, this time I'm coming back to Christ for good. That decision made a difference. It made a difference because I decided to see the world through the word of God. And that is how I live my life. The light that is shining forth from the word of God in the Bible is what I use to see the world. So whatever I'm doing today has a root in the word of God. So if it makes any difference in my life, the way you view me, that is the foundation. Because it's not good to just read the word of God and not do what the word of God says.
Okay.
Now, God gives us the opportunity to grow. That's why Apostle Paul was talking about feeding with milk, because at that point, that's all you can take. Later, it will give you meat because you can now deal with it. So that's the way I came to be who God has made me in my relationship with people. I always quote Mark 11:25-26. God said in those verses that whatever ought anything anybody may do to you, forgive them. Because, listen to this, because if you don't forgive them, I will not forgive you. And I thought about it for some time. Number one, we offend God. If you read his word very well, you know how many times you offend God. And God forgives you. But he said that if you don't forgive others, he will not forgive you. And Anna said, okay, if God doesn't forgive me, where will I end? So that's why before we ever have anything to do together, I've already forgiven you up front, which means you can't really offend me again. And God has been helping me to live my life that way. I don't have anybody in my bad book. I even don't have a bad book. That's it. So I believe living your life as if God is seeing your heart, because he says expressly that I see your heart. So I live my life that way. If God sees my heart, it is actually stupid or foolish to think that the person who will judge you is seeing your heart, and then you are relating with other fellow human beings and you are hiding things from them. What sense does it make? The person who will judge you is seeing your heart. I've thought about this thing and I said, wait a minute. There is something we call CCTV, which sees you every time, records everything. And I said, the creator of heaven and earth has a more sophisticated CCTV that capture everything that you are hiding from others. What are you hiding them for? The person who will use those facts to judge you has seen it. It's only human beings like you that you can hide things from. And that's why, still talking on this very subject, Akin said earlier on, somebody pays you money for something and they want to be harassing you and this thing. And I say, Akin, and tell every other one of you, give them their money back. And the moment you do that, you see the power they thought they have because they paid you 10 naira or 50, whatever. That power comes to zero once you hand over the money to them. In some cases, you will now see them begging you again, okay, please, just keep your money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on, sir. I want to keep this a 2-hour show so that we don't stay here all day, because I know we know the 5 of us here, we can do it all day. We'll talk and talk, but we know that some even have limited data. I know. So I want to keep it as a 2-hour show. Meanwhile, Ronald, mute your mic or mute the YouTube page on the background, in the background. Yeah, better. Now, I want to open the floor. Ronald, you're going to unmute Oyeleke Toyi now. I know he has a question about diversification. You have one business that is doing well, then should you keep watering that or you diversify? Or maybe he wants to rephrase that question. Ronald, please unmute Oyeleke.
Okay. Mute. Thank you, Otumba. I will quickly, somewhere along the line, I think Dr. Ojeagbase has actually answered that question. When you asked about climax, why you went to climax and all of that, I think that has been answered. So if you allow me, I will just use the time to ask another question. Can I go ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. Okay, so Daddy, one reason why many small businesses in Nigeria never grow is because the owners claim they're unable to find employees that they can trust. So they prefer to do most things by themselves, if not everything. So, sir, how have you been able to solve this employee puzzle to achieve this scale of success in your business?
What did I do? Because I've been very, very fortunate to have people come work with me, and at the end of the day, we become partners, friends for life. And so, what do I do? First of all, I do the thing that I do at SADC. I train people to do the kind of thing I want them to do for me. I have young people right now that we're working on a digital marketing project. Some of them started training them from scratch. They don't even know the thing that they are going to work at. But I devote my time to teaching them. In the process of teaching them, I get to find out those who are teachable, those who are trustworthy, and those that you can't change. The ones you can't change, you let go. No hard feelings. The ones that are teachable, I devote my time to guiding them. And these people become my star. Let me give an example of Dr. Mumini Alao. You know, he came straight from Unilag as a mass communication graduate. And he worked with me, never changed job until he became the group managing director of CCL. You know, in the course of my talk here, I said I handed over complete football production to him while I was chasing the bird in the
greener pasture.
you know. And the only reason I could do that was because he's been trained to do complete football. And thank God I did, because when my health was seriously challenged, if he was not with me, the business would have, of course, been nowhere by today. So that's the value of training people to be who you want. And talking about one thing is to train people. You can have people who can work and do your thing very well, but they are not trustworthy. But I put people to test just to know how far I could go with them. When I would be traveling, for example, I would sign checks for Dr. Alao to keep when I'm going on trips. And I will come back and find the check, intact. The one that he has used, he will explain what it was used for. So you know that you can trust such person with money. I went on another trip. I gave a guy just 2 weeks trip, and I know the magic he did before I came back. So that's it. I think you start by trusting people and watch them and see the way. Because you can't hide these things. From little things, you can always determine how far to go with somebody. So that's the way I do it.
Great. Great. Now let's come to Samson, and I want Ronald to unmute Samson, and or he unmute himself, whichever. Unmute and ask Daddy your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Daddy, for the wisdom.
We can't hear you. Raise your voice.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
We're trying. Campaign voice. Use campaign voice, as we say in politics.
Campaign.
Thank you, Daddy, for the wisdom you have shared so far. One question I would like to ask is, how do you, so when for instance, for SADC, I'm sure that you have plans ahead, like having 5 years what you want to achieve, 10 years what you want to achieve. For many people, they find it difficult to know when they're going to set the next bound for their business. What will you advise such people?
When you are going to do the next what?
Maybe the next 5 years plan for your business. Currently, based on what you're doing, many people seem to have problem about setting plans ahead. Maybe short-term plans, long-term plans. What will you advise current entrepreneurs who are just upcoming or they're in business and they want to project what will happen in the next 5 years? What are the criteria or things they have to put in place so that they can achieve those goals?
What do I do in that area? Do I actually set 5 years, 10 years plan? No, I don't. I personally don't do that. I've read about that stuff. What I do is expressed better by the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In the first chapter in that book, it talked about knowing the end from the beginning. That is the one that drives everything that I do. I have a goal, a bigger goal. And once that goal is established, I come to the beginning and start working at it, knowing that as I'm going along, I'm doing course correction. Because what I'm doing currently, if it's not going to take me to that goal, I know I'm already missing my way. For example, we've been talking about Success Digest SADC. Before we established the NGO, I saw the kind of thing that is even happening today at the beginning. I saw it in my mind's eye because I know from the experience of others that it just follows. It's a normal thing. And it is all in the Bible. If you help others, and Zig Ziglar also put it very well. If you help others to achieve what they want, they will help you to achieve what you want. So that's it. I knew from the beginning that if we get people together teach them to achieve the kind of thing God has helped you to achieve in love, definitely your own love will gravitate towards the person. I'm not surprised, because I tell myself, if it were possible for Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, to just, and they tell me, if I go to so and so place, I will see him, I will travel there and say, thank you very much, because of what I found in the book you authored that transformed my life. So that's it. I don't set 5 years goal, 10 years goal. I just pick the big goal and then keep working towards it and doing course correction. If I see that what I'm doing will not take me to that place, I adjust myself. And that helps me to cure one of the worst disease that affects every one of us, which I've mentioned earlier, this greener grass thing. That's the only solution, and that's what I do.
Now, before I bring Ronald in, I don't know if Ronald actually, apart from coordinating this thing from behind the scenes, I don't know if you have a particular question, but apart from that, I want to ask you, sir, that I want to ask you a question about complete sports and the digital wave. I don't know. I'm not in a position to say whether I will say maybe complete sports missed the digital wave. At the publishing wise, print publishing, complete football, complete sports, international soccer review, complete football international, complete football top 20, all the products were absolute runaway successes. But I think moving online, I'm not sure whether complete sports have been able to actually dominate that space yet. If you agree with me, is there a plan to actually come back into that? I know complete sports online is there. There are things that have been done, but it's not a dominating platform the way the print publications were those days. What do you think is the reason for that, and what's the plan going forward to correct that?
The two reason is this: marrying offline businesses to online businesses is a big challenge. And for me personally, I was involved in creating awareness for the internet. And as a teacher, I was, in quote, not a bad affliction. I've never seen it as a bad affliction. But as a teacher, and every teacher knows what I'm talking about, if you are a devoted teacher, you know what it means. Your student will go and go on to high places, and then you are a teacher. I mean, let all of us look at our primary school teacher. We do forget them, but they are the foundation of our education. So the same thing. What I knew about the internet, where the internet was going, much of which we have seen 25 years ago, it wasn't so clear. But the sports publishing business as you said, which is true, was top level. But there has to be a time to change to digital. And you can't change to digital without knowing about digital. You cannot. So, and then I became, my health was challenged. And so there's so much you can do in such a situation. But don't worry, we are already heading in that direction. And God willing, we will cover the lost ground. Yeah. Have you guys lost me?
I'm here, sir.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Udoya, are you here?
Maybe.
Let me remove and add him again. Oh, okay. I think his internet has an issue, but I'm sure he will be back on very, very soon.
So you carry on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, he's back.
Carry on still. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
All right. I don't have a question per se. I just wanted to make an observation. Daddy, I'm sure you probably don't remember. That was there. I was in your office, and I was talking about me wanting to start teaching again, teaching. And you admonished me, and you said, I spent a lot of time teaching you these things, and I expect that you also share with others, like I've shared with you. There's this thing online where people come on and they look at people who teach business in quote, especially, and it's really really rampant with Nigerians. So they look at people who talk about business and they say, "Oh, just people who make money online by teaching people how to make money online." you know, Never mind that you that you built stuff outside. Never mind that you have other businesses that are not even online businesses, so to say, but they try to use it probably due to their own low self-esteem. They try to project it towards you and try to box you into a corner, so to say. And I remember coming to you and expressing that, and you told me, you really admonished me and told me that, these are people's personal opinions and why that shouldn't be my opinion. And I see a lot of young people um, who have learned how to do a number of things online. People that we have been privileged to share what we have learned from you with, and who have gone on to do really big things. And they also now come back to me the same way I come back to you, and they express these same concerns. And they're like, I don't want to go, I don't want to do that anymore because when I tried to do it, somebody said, I only make money by teaching people how to make money online. You know, you know. So I just wanted you to maybe say one or two things about that.
The first thing I would say is, do you really make money by teaching people how to make, do you really make money because you teach people? The answer is no. How much money? Like Samson talked about 25,000 was big money for him, I know. But the thing is, how much did we make from that particular seminar? How much did we make? You can't really make money teaching people about internet. And I will tell you why. Of 100%, 100 people you teach, less than 10% of them will make anything out of it. Why? Because up till now, the internet is a hard nut to crack. There is the business part, which is a challenge on its own. And then there's the technical part, which is another challenge. Me, I have never, in fact, I didn't even bother myself about it, because if I did, I would have been a programmer. I know that everything we do online is translated into online thing by the programmers. So how many years would it have taken me to become a programmer? So this is the challenge that most people don't know. Your business idea is what you translate digitally. And if your business idea is not solid, there is nothing that is going to happen if you go online with it. So there is a need for education, serious education. So anybody who is saying that people make money by, I know what they are talking about, because as a teacher, how many of your primary school teachers are rich? Even talk about the professors in university, how many of them are as rich as entrepreneurs? But God gave everybody the passion. Some people's passion is to teach, to educate. If I spent as much time on making money with what I know on internet, I will not be as successful in driving the zeal and the desire to go online. I know personally, it gives me joy that I forgo the money I could make from becoming an internet entrepreneur and teaching it, because today I have more people in my country who are aware of internet, how they could make money from it, and I am more fulfilled than having having an Amazon type of business, which I would just be the only person who knows about it, and nobody around me could do it. But today, I have several hundred thousands of people who are today aware of what they could use the internet for. That's a personal joy for me. It doesn't end up with 0 in the bank, but when you translate it, it is billions out there. So don't be discouraged that somebody say, oh, people make money by, you know what you are doing. It will make our country better.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 Thank you for that, sir.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you.
I muted myself when my assistant came into
Okay.
the office. Yeah. We all faced that, but after some time, when people actually see that you actually have what you're doing apart from teaching people, they start to
Yeah,
respect you and they leave it.
yeah.
So it's not something to really be bothered about. Then, how much money can you really make? Like he said, look, if you want to make money teaching people something, The money is better. The topic you deal with is not how to make money online.
Yeah.
There are many mainstream topics that you can make money from if you actually want to make money from teaching, right? There's relationship, there's and all these things that can give you money. So not teaching, but when the passion is there, you want to teach, you like to share. People say these things because we don't have the culture of sharing in Nigeria. A lot of people don't like to
Yeah.
share their business.
Yeah.
I've met I go most entrepreneurs when you sit down and you start discussing, they don't want to share contacts, they want to share numbers, they don't want to share everything, but they want to learn, right? But things are changing these days, especially amongst the new tech entrepreneurs that we're having. They share, they tell you about things, and I love to. What's there? You can't take my market. You can't take my you can't take it from me. The market is there. What I'm doing, my compassion, my conviction, my passion for this industry, you cannot take it from me, right? So it's that culture of, they're coming from a culture of they don't want to share. So when they see someone that is sharing, they begin to read meanings into it. So I think now we just got about 5 minutes to go. We're going to round up. Maybe one word from each of us. Leketoye, I want you to remind Dad when he gave you a full page advert or so to run your business for free at the beginning when you were struggling. And maybe if you're interested in telling everybody in public about your business, maybe you can do that in like 2 minutes. We have just like 4 minutes to go. Although there's no police that will catch us if we go past the 2 hours, but let's give ourselves a bit of target. So go on.
Okay, Otumba, thank you very much. I like to use my own 1 minute I just dedicate it to Dr. Sonny Ojeagbase. And then I just want to, what you talked about, I said in business, you are doing business, but then you keep your human face. Like, what gave me the first mileage, apart from the knowledge, the first, knowledge I got from him, which set me on the right path. The first thing was advert. I was struggling to put money together for advert. I didn't know where it was going to come. So I just sent him an email to say, sir, since attending your workshop, this is how far I've gone. And then I'm still looking for money to do advert. Hopefully my dad will loan me, And then the next thing, I saw my email to him on a full page in Success Digest. That was crazy. I was looking for money for a tiny classified advert, and it just gave me a full page, and that brought the first, that launched me effectively, and I've not looked back since then. Now, 30 seconds more, please. So, it's not just that. I keep talking about that. I was just telling some of my staff on this, they are watching this. So I was just telling them that the 32-inch flat screen TV in one of our offices, it's been there for so long. I was just telling him that was my wedding gift from Dr. Ojeagbase and mommy over 11 years ago. That was our wedding gift. And we still have that TV there. At that time, 32-inch flat screen was, it was the absolute best, at that time. So, and there's been so it's been a great mentor, a great resource. Many times, often when I run myself into a tight corner, and I'm just thinking, and I would think, what would Daddy do? What would he do in this situation? So the next thing I would do is I would make that pilgrimage to go and see him. Just call him, I'm coming. And when I get there, that thing that looked like it was so big, it would just say something, and then I would leave calm. So it's been great, it's been wonderful knowing you. And
Do you want to
I
promote the
hope and
product,
pray.
or you want to just leave it like that?
No, today is for him. Another day we'll talk about products.
Yes, sales day.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Ronald, parting shot. Unmute.
So I just wanted to talk about how grateful I am that I have him in my life. Like I tell a lot of the people who follow me, I say that without him, I'm sure that I would see. I'm not sure what I probably would be doing, but I'm sure it wouldn't be this big. You know, so I just wanted to say thank you, sir, for everything you have been to me, and that you still are to me. I don't have anything to promote. Okay, yes, I do have something to promote. Success Digest. So, guys, if you are here and you're reading and you're watching, I want to make sure that every one of you comes in contact with this newspaper that basically changed all of our lives, not just me, but Oloye's life, Toye, and something here. And that publication is called Success Digest. So it's now in digital format. So what I want to do very, very quickly is to get you guys a link so that you can sign up and you can get that publication sent to you every single week. So I'm going to post it in the comment section right now. So please get that link and sign up for it. And it is absolutely going to blow your mind. I know I still read it. I'm subscribed actually, so I still get it every week. I still read it, and it is something that I'm sure is going to be a big, big blessing to you, just like it was for me, you know, accidentally coming across it in 2003. This is 2021. That's like 18 years ago. Wow, time flies, man. So, I'm sure it's going to be um, a blessing to you. So again, I've posted the link earlier. So please just check the comment sections and get the link. So that is what I have to promote.
Something.
Okay, so I just want to say a big thank you to Daddy for who you are to me and my family, for being there as a mentor. I call you mentor of mentors. For whatever impact, whatever influence, whatever income I've acquired through the digital space has been because of me learning under you and having you as a mentor to always run to when I'm stuck about anything. Thank you for birthing and accepting to obey God for birthing SADC. Thank you for that publication of Success Digest, and I'm happy that the soft copy is available for many people to take advantage of. So if there's anything I'm going to keep talking about on my platform is to keep encouraging people to get this life transforming digital publication that has helped me over the last 14 years. I came across that paper in 2008. Until date, I'm still using many of the information to do a lot on the internet. Thank you, Daddy. And thank you to Mommy also for doing all you do for us.
Okay. All right, my turn. It's my turn now. Let me do the final. Yeah, I've already thanked you. I thank you, Daddy, and you guys already promoted Success Digest. That I've got some things I want to mention. I don't know if that is books are still in print. I've got a few copies. So if you want to order, is authored a few books, starting with I don't know if that was the first, How to Make It in Nigeria, Building Your Wealth from Ground Floor Up. Here's other one, How to Bulletproof Yourself from Poverty, Learn It, Do It, Sell It. And I'm reading this out of my head. I don't have the books in front of me here. I know those titles very well. So, well, you want to something, right? You want to bring it up for us. You want to show that current.
Yes. I'm trying to get all the books.
so I don't know if that still has a few copies in print. If it does, we can find a way on how you can order for those books. And for my own book as well, this is for educational purposes, obviously. My book, all of my books, Small Business, Big Money. And then another book is coming up soon, next month to be precise. On my birthday, March 31, I'm launching it. How to sell to Nigerians. And our daddy here has graciously accepted to write the foreword of that book. So guys, look forward. And if you follow me on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, obviously I'm going to block your ears with the marketing. So you're going to hear about it definitely. So when you buy the book, when you see the book, make sure you order it. So we're going to round up now. We want to thank you very much again, Daddy, for your time. Say hello to Mommy for us. We appreciate you. Do you want to give us one final word and we'll close, sir?
Well, keep doing what you are doing now better, because the future is for the bold. And I want you guys to embolden the youths, the Nigerians out there, that our country will be turned around with ideas of what you are preaching to them now. God bless you all. I love you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks for
so much,
joining
Daddy.
up. Hope to do more of this in the future, guys. Bye.
Yeah, bye. We love you too. Bye, guys. Bye, Samson.
Bye.
We're going to.
Otumba.
I don't think I'm going to call, but I'm going to call for you this time.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Bye,
All right.
guys.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye.
everybody.
Thank you, Daddy. Bye.